Hello, everyone, and welcome to my universe. So, unfortunately, I think that the way I've been approaching getting all the numbers into looping pipes, a little bit of a dead end. So, I'm gonna have to hit the drawing board again. I'm not gonna do that here today. I I have ideas, but that will be for future me. Present me wants to take a look at process again. Just like, oh my god. I scroll through all the functions that I have here, and like half of them are just for calculating. Because yeah, you know what? I'm curious now. So where we start, then just some of the basic built-in stuff. Then we have some stuff for managing the grid. And for when you can build, and some helper methods for that. Moving things around and rotation and actually spotting the buildings and stuff. This is all for dragging. And then everything from here down I think is all just for calculating. Okay, so it's only about half. Not quite as bad as I thought. Okay, so to explain why I kind of want to take a look at my process method today. If we look at the horrible abomination I've been using to test my recursive pipes, yeah, it's like when I start trying to highlight things, we get lovely little fireflies. I don't want bugs in my code. That is undesirable, even if they are cute little fireflies. So, I eventually tracked down the problem here to being that there's just too many pipes to do it in a single frame. Calculate this in a single frame. And I realized that it was probably the same thing that was causing a couple of other minor bugs here. So, like, if I drag really fast, I can get weird stuff like this sometimes. I think this is also a similar idea, where it's just moving where the end point is, the last point that I dragged here, on a slightly different value, just due to where the release was in the frame, I guess. It differed, has like a one frame difference or something. I know what I'm talking about, but I don't quite know how to explain it. And so it results in the value that it thinks it should be putting this row at is different from where it thinks this should go. And that's awkward. So I want the calculation to happen a little bit closer together. And I think some of that is just a process can't do it fast enough. So I need to find a way to take some things out of process. I'm not quite sure how far I'm going to get with that. I have plenty of other things I can work on, so I'm not too worried if I can't quite figure out how to do that without having to dig through the Godot forums and whatnot. That's all fine. I think I'd also like to make it so you can deselect things here and, some other just minor things, but yeah, so for now, I just kind of want to go through process and look at things that I can maybe take out or refactor to, like, does it have to be there? Does it have to be? I only kind of know what I'm doing, so at first I just, I just got something working, and I think that was a good way to go. But I think I can make it a little bit better so that weird things like that don't happen. This definitely doesn't need to be processed. I think I actually have that in Factory Global now. Do I? Yeah, right here. So I probably don't need to be doing that. And let's see, how do I calculate this? Yeah, so I just wait for the player to come on. So I don't need that at all. I think I can just delete this. And then when... Oh, hey. Okay, so it didn't even barf. I thought for sure that it would barf somewhere, but I guess I probably was using the factory global version everywhere. Okay, that's good. Okay, so this was for placing the blueprint. Can I do that elsewhere? I would think so, if I can figure out a more reasonable way to use signals, because I'm pretty sure that what I'm doing here is silly. Yeah, so what's going on here is that when you select a blueprint to place from the blueprint menu, I put a value in my global class. It's here somewhere. Yeah, it's here. One of these guys. And I put a value in there, and then when you go back to here, I check to see if it's not empty. And this seems inadvisable. Hello there, Protox. Welcome back. Oh, my chat broken. Well, shoot. Okay. Now let me check something, because... No, it seems like everything's fine. I don't know why it's not working. Okay. Well, I can deal. Okay. But, yes, this seems perhaps not ideal. And the main thing that was stopping me is I couldn't figure out where to connect the signal for it. Because I felt like if I just connected the signal in ready, that I'd be doing the same thing as I was here, where effectively the signal would just be listening for this, more or less, of just when there was a blueprint to be placed. And that didn't really seem to be any better in my head, but I don't know. I swear that there has to be something better for this than this. This works. I got it working. But I'm not quite sure what to do about it. This is just going to require me having to dig into some Godot-specific stuff. So, I will probably do that later. So let's see. Okay, so I go through... And, okay, then we get rid of it, and... we just make the thing that we are going to end up placing. Okay. So this kind of thing I know can be slow, but at the very least from what I've seen, even with my very large abominations, it hasn't really been a problem. And then that's something else entirely, but anyway. Handle best creating of pipes with mouse drag. Okay, so this is the source of the bug. The buggy behavior that I was talking about at the beginning, so I really do want to dig into this. What are you ifing? Okay. Okay. Man. I'm wondering if I could take any of this out, because it's like I'm looking at it, but it does need to be very responsive to what the player's doing. I might be able to do something where instead of just constantly calling it, I can do it when the cell it's on changes. And all I'd have to do is check for that. That might be something that works. You know what, I'm gonna leave some notes for myself here, so let's do that. So this is going to be... dig into how signals work. Is that about it? Yeah, I think that's about it. Okay, maybe I'll let a note here. Test with, like, 1,000 pipes. Because I think that could be potentially something that could happen. I don't think that'll happen often, but if it freezes the game and makes it panic, then this is not a workable solution and I should figure out something better. But otherwise, I think we're good. You know what? Just for fun. Just for fun. Let's go make something with like 1,000 pipes, or as much as I can like fit on the screen. Okay, here we go. You ready? Oh god, this thing is still such a mess. Because yeah, when you go out here, I basically disable like everything, and so it gets very confused. So confused. This is why I want to fix some of these things. I do. Today is a fixing day. While I lament at my inability to make math work. Okay, let's go make it a little bit longer here. We're just gonna spam. It's gonna be fantastic. Okay. And let's go ahead and put some more in here. Okay, and I think this should be enough for me to do the test that I want. So let's see if this breaks anything. God, I really don't want it to feel this jank when I'm done with it, though. I haven't been working too hard about getting rid of all the jank, but it upsets me. Okay, let's build this stupid thing. Oh god. That's what I was afraid of. So it does fine when you don't have too many, but this is yeah. I'd like to make that better. Okay. How do I get them all to draw at once? But yes, that's not what I want. But this is gonna be research, so I probably won't do that on stream. Otherwise, you'd just be listening here to me mumbling myself and going up and I can only do that so long before I start feeling self-conscious when I'm on camera, okay? Okay. So, handling mass creation of pipes with mouse drag. Bug width. And not lining up with where it should. I'll know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. So let's go through this. This reminds me that I'm also gonna have to go look through input to hopefully make things a little bit better. Okay, so that's not placeholder and that's not placeholder. Transform pipe. Okay, I'll take my word for it there. Anyway, let's see. So this is what creates the rectangles, and like I said, I'm not sure if I can really do anything about that. I'm not, honestly. Because... well, no, that's not true. I did have that one thought of where I'm like, okay, maybe I don't need to be checking this every frame. Maybe I can just wait for the mouse to move a certain amount, and that would be slightly less calculation, and maybe it'd make it a little bit less jank. Would... the rectangles when the mouse moves help. Mouse moves to new grid cell help. Again, probably a thing I'm gonna have to research. That's why I said, right now, I just kind of wanted to take a look through it. I'm not sure how much of this I'm actually gonna be able to fix live. But... let's go see what my past self cooked up. Okay, so yeah, I definitely remember having to do all this silliness. So there is a fair amount of calculation going on, which does make me think, yes, maybe if I can find a way to check for mouse position and when it enters a new grid cell instead, maybe that would make it a little bit less jank. It doesn't need to have such good precision that you can kind of screw yourself over and do this. Yeah, not really what you need to be doing. This is undesirable. So is that. And I've kind of learned how to reproduce it. So if it doesn't need that level of precision, and you just want it to do stuff like this. Oh, this should not be ghosting. Well, that's fine. Anyway, but yeah, if I want it to be like this every time, and it doesn't need to be super... And in fact, the level of precision here is undesirable, since it did put the pipes in the wrong place, then yeah, I'll just check for particulars of mouse movement, and I think that will actually help. Because then I don't have to run this calculation every frame, I only run it when the mouse moves a particular way. Seems plausible. I might be able to do this one live, at least just to try it and see what happens. Okay, and then this is what's getting stuff for draw. And that's fine, that's useful for me. Again, I don't think it necessarily needs to be done every frame, it just needs to react to when the player moves the mouse and when it changes grid cells. So I literally do think that all of this could potentially be moved out. Okay, and I see what's happening with some of this. Okay, so I'll just have to do some particular checks there in order to make it not blue when I don't want it to be blue. What is this? Okay, is this when it's starting to build it? Yeah, so this is... Okay, so this is when it's trying to go over whether or not it should change like a turnpipe into a splitter or draw the path backwards, just depending on which one you hover over first. This definitely doesn't need to be done every frame. Strictly speaking, I think this only needs to be done once. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that I could definitely take out. And then this is just checking for overlap. Okay, okay. So yeah, I think there's a lot I can do there, and in fact, I might even be able to do a lot of that today. Okay, and this one, let's see, this is... Okay, so all this is gonna go to a different node, because I didn't bother doing it yet, but this is what draws the black rectangle that you get when you're doing selections, and if you look, it goes behind the pipes, and I find this undesirable. I want it to be on top of the pipes, but in order to be able to do that, I can't leave it here. I have to put it in a different class. Just due to how Godot handles draw order. It's just the rules, as far as I can tell. So that'll be going elsewhere. But also take a look at what's going on here. Because, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's in process here or process in a different class. It needs to be able to handle everything it has to do. It just does. And besides, I think only the drawing might happen elsewhere. I'm not entirely sure yet. That'll probably be something that I mess around with, and maybe I'll mess around with it a little bit today, but for now, let's just go through it. Okay, so this is getting the size of the square, which is more precise than everything else. It's more precise than what I need for like the pipe dragging. The pipe dragging only needs to change which row and column that it highlights and shows where it's going to be putting pipes down anytime it exits or enters a new cell. And that's fine, but here, I can draw this, like, halfway in the cells, and I do want it to reflect that. So, it does actually need to know where the mouse is at all times, so I do think that this has to stay in process. This maybe not, though. Yeah, that maybe not. Okay. So I already kind of determined when I was going through this the last time I looked that getting this, basically, just finding where that square intersects with all the pipes and which pipes get highlighted, takes too long to do in process. I'm still not quite sure how I'm going to fix that, because it does need to reflect the size of the rectangle, which I just said needs to have its size be done in process, so that this way it'll feel accurate to where the player moves the mouse, and I am not quite sure how to fix that. But basically all of this, too slow. Too slow for process. I'm still not quite sure how to fix it. So, I haven't really looked it up because I've been too busy trying to get all the math right. But I do think that these are some things that I want to fix relatively soon. I think I'll probably focus on all the math first. But these will be coming shortly after. I gradually want to start just getting rid of all the jank in the game, because right now there's a lot of jank, and I don't want it to feel like that when I'm all done. Okay. Copy and paste. So I already know, too slow when there are lots and lots of pipes. Need to figure out how to draw them at once. Even if there's a slight pause after you copy it. But I don't think there needs to be. I really don't. I just need to find, I don't know, optimal... It's not quite draw, but optimal ways to create scenes? Well, no. I don't even think I necessarily need a scene, because I just need the sprites. So, that'll be okay. That'll be for later. Because that's scary, and I don't know how to do that. If you ever feel like you have to know what you're doing to make a game, no, you really don't. You can figure it out. It's great. You just get a 1,000-yard stare at the problems and beat your head against Google. It's fantastic. Because there are probably other people out there that have had similar problems. Okay. So then it just goes to see if there's overlapping stuff. I'm still not quite sure what to do there. Oh yeah, and I do need to revisit underground pipes. Need to figure out how to place underground pipes in general. I want the... how to say... entry and exit to be placed together. Because I really do. But enforcing that is hard. And how would that work in blueprints? Who knows? That's the main thing, because unlike Factorio and most other factory games, I'll just use Factorio as my example for now. Like, when you place an underground, there's a limited range that the point where it comes back up can be. Very limited. But in this game, you can place them anywhere, because they are going to be rare and things that you find while exploring the dungeon. So you're not going to have very many, so we made them very strong. So anywhere you place, you can place the entrance, then you can put the exit anywhere you want on the screen. It just has to be the same screen. That's the only limitation. You can put them at opposite corners of the map if you feel like. So it's just rough, because right now the way that I figure out where the other one is going out is because it's placed right after. And I don't think I can do that. Yeah. Let's just say that let me gather my thoughts here, but the reason that I determined that I don't think I can really do that is just the thought of what happens if the player leaves the room before placing the exit. And at first I was like, okay, well, we'll stop them from leaving the room. But that's not really feasible. It's not. There are too many ways to exploit that kind of behavior, and I just think it would be a generally bad idea. Like, the example that came up was, what if you have a vertical room, and the challenge is to, I don't know, make it so you can jump high enough to get through this vertical room. And rather than getting enough air to jump, you just try to build an underground pipe, so that this way, when the game stops you from trying to leave the room, you'll be able to, like, jump again or something. Or at the very least, you'll just kind of be able to float at the bottom of the screen since you can't screen transition. And that's not the kind of behavior I want to encourage. That seems like a bad idea. Yeah. And there are just some things that would get really messy. And then the other half that made me realize that this wasn't really something I could do feasibly was, okay, what happens if you build a blueprint? Right now, I'd let you put whatever you want on your blueprints. What if you only have an underground exit? Or what if you have 2 undergrounds and 2 underground exits? How do I determine which goes where? I don't know. I still don't know. So that's why I say I just need to figure out how they're going to be there. Because, yeah, if you try to put 2 undergrounds on a blueprint, I still don't know how to determine which one exits where. So I think it's probably just going to be something that I have the player specify at some later point. That's probably how I'll do it. And just connect them that way. It'll be an extra step when there's only one in the room, but I just feel like it would lead to problems if I don't do it that way. Yeah. But I can figure out that there. I haven't thought about it too hard. I've had too many other things to think about. And I think this is one of those ones where I'm just gonna have to sit down and just really think, and I don't want to do that right now. I have more important things to do. That'll be for later. That's one of those things that'll be pretty hard to do on stream. Well, maybe not, actually. Since half of what I do on stream is just I ramble to myself until I come to a decision that I like. So maybe it is completely appropriate for stream, but not right now. Okay. Why am I setting copying to false when it's already false? I mean, it has to be. Like, it's like, look, if copying is true, you do some stuff. Otherwise you do this stuff, and I apparently decided it's reasonable to set copying to false. Let's not do that. That's not gonna cause performance issues, it's just silly. Okay. Now at the end we always redraw, which is probably necessary given some things I do. It might not be. But I don't want to queue redraw multiple times. I'll leave it there for now. But I'll go ahead and leave a note. Okay, can this be optimized? I don't know, but all I know is that I do a bunch of rectangle drawing. So, just like, for example, when we're dragging pipes, I draw a bunch of green rectangles to show where it's okay. And that's how I handle that. So there's a lot of things right now that need that sort of thing. They may not need it in the future, though. Maybe. It'll depend on what I make those currently kind of... If I bring up the game here. So you can see that we draw a train of rectangles here. That's what they are. I guess they're squares. Because it's just a bunch of little squares filling up each grid cell that this path covers. And... God, what the hell is going on with that? Bizarre. Does it think the player's over here? Probably does. Anyway. Yeah, because I can't think of why else it would be green, so it thinks the player's over there. Fascinating. Huh. Well, whatever. For me later. But, yes. So, right now, as long as I want to draw those little squares doing all this, I need to be doing a bunch of drawing, and it also, you know, handles this stuff. The rectangle outline that I draw and the pink highlights, because those are also just drawn squares over under the pipes. Yes. So we'll leave it there for now. And that may be easier to optimize out once I actually know what some of these things are going to look like. It's like, the pipes aren't going to look like this. I'm not going to be using hot pink for anything. It's just not how it's going to be. It's just not. Okay. So that's some of the basic stuff, and I have one that I really do feel like I can get now. I do think that I can handle the mass creating pipes with mouse drag. I could probably do that. Let's take a look at input before I start tearing things out there, though. Because input... it's called on any input event, but not every frame. But nonetheless, there might still be something I can do here. Look. I'm just very amused by me just flailing at, oh my god, why is my menu not blocking inputs? I feel like this should just be something that's in here. Why do I have to code it manually? Anyway, my flailing aside, I don't even think I use this one anymore, but whatever. Okay. Definitely need to check for that, because I don't want any of this to happen when the grid is off, because when the grid is off, the click should attack and not build pipes. Okay. Yeah, that's right, because this used to be such that... Yeah, now I actually require you to press C before you start copying, whereas that didn't used to be the case. And there's some jank with that right now. I need to get it to feel good. I feel like I'm saying that a lot today, which, you know, bodes well for the work that I intend to do here. Okay. So again, this is another thing that I'm really gonna have to do something about it, because when this gets big, there are problems. I can't even test it to show the problems right now, but it's the same problem with trying to place that really big blueprint that I tried. And the reason that I can't do it is because of fireflies. The fireflies bug. Yes. Okay, so... For pipette holder.get children. Okay, so this is building all of them. I feel like I could probably do something else here. Okay. This is not copying. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to take out all the underground pipe stuff for a little bit. Let's see. I guess that might be a reasonable thing to implement today if I feel like it. Okay, and so this is determining whether or not it should, if you're dragging pipes or just trying to get info from a pipe. Okay. Okay. So this is when we click. And then, okay, so this is all relatively simple. You know, relatively. We don't have that much to do when we click. This is for the blueprint menu, and that should all be fine. Yeah, and I think most of this is fine. Okay, so I don't think input has that many problems. Draw maybe a little gnarly, but I think it's probably okay. Okay. So, you know, in that case, let's try to take some things out of process. I'm a little terrified, but I think it'll be okay. So, let's go back up to process and then back to this guy. So this is the one that I think I can probably handle. I do need to check for this in process, definitely. I probably don't need to do this every frame. In fact, do I need to do any of this every frame? I really don't. So... Yeah, I think I have a good idea on how I want to do this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create another little helper method. I'm gonna decide where I want to put it. And then I'll start fixing some of the other drawing bugs. I'm not sure how they happened, but you know, these things happen all the time. It's fine. It probably has to do with when I switch to using the global class. Because I imagine... Okay. So what I determined is, like, when we look at the screen here, we see the player right here, and his little bubble is where I'm circling. But for some reason, these are blue instead of green. They should be green. Blue is for everything built outside of the build area. And yet, when I come up here, you can see that all of these are green. And what this tells me is that the player found by my global class thinks that the player is at 0, 0, which is in the upper left. And so what I think happens is that once the global class is able to find it the first time, It was before it was moved to its the global class found the player before the player was moved to its actual location. It found it the frame it spawned. And then, like a frame later, it got moved to here. And it didn't update. So that's probably not going to be an actual solution for finding the player. But for now, let's just worry about getting this part dealt with, and then I will worry about getting the colors right. Okay, so looking at this, let's see, do I do anything else with that? No. Okay. Where do I calculate transform type? It's probably through some different shenanigans. Because it was occurring to me that, so what can happen with the code here is that, yeah, let's just say that I make a little path right here, and then I decide, you know what, I kind of want this to be a splitter. I can do this, and it'll turn into a splitter. So that's what transform pipe is. And also, if I were to highlight here, and decide, oh yeah, I want to, you know, do that, and have it go from here to up here, it'll draw it backwards. So that this way you can do that. Unfortunately, I think it also does that when you do it like this. Oh no, I do have it right. Okay, cool. I was gonna say, if you select here and drag forward, I don't actually think that it realizes that you want to go forward still. But no, it does. It is smart. So I have already done that. Fantastic. So, yeah, and I do think that that only needs to be calculated once. Because what determines whether or not you want to transform the pipe is literally just, how to say, when you click and move in the direction. So, like, if I were to reset it and go back here, I guess I'd need to calculate it again. But as long as I'm dragging over here, and I'm not trying to change it to a direction that the splitter wouldn't go if it existed there, then it's all correct. I only need to calculate this once. I only need to determine if it's in the right place once. So that'll be a load off of process, since you don't have to calculate that every frame. Alright. But literally, I think everything here can just go into the function. So let's see, what do I want to call this function? I should call it handle pipe dragging. And I don't know if it needs anything, but that'll be what we do. Okay, so now I can take all of this. Just all of it. And we'll replace it with that. Probably means I don't need a region there, but that's fine, I'll leave it there. And I'll put it after this guy. Yes. Huh. Because that's here. Why did it take me there? Well, whatever. I'll go find where I'm looking for. So, I want it to be right here. What did I call it again? Okay. Okay, so I think it probably just returns void. We'll see if that's true. If I need something for it afterwards, you know, we'll deal with it then. It's okay. Oh. I'm not sure how I did that, but... Okay, no, we're good. I see. I just wasn't scrolled over all the way. I thought that I accidentally cut things off there. Okay. So is my indentation all funky? Alas. Okay, well. Looks like we fix it. Okay. So I'm just going to have to backspace once all the way down. And I just gotta trust myself. Just gotta trust. Okay. So all the way down, one by one, because I haven't found a way to do this en masse yet. I'm sure there's a way somewhere, but I don't know what it is, and I haven't been able to find the answer, so, you know, I'll do what I can. It's fine. Fortunately, the function's a little long this time. If you ever wondered why occasionally I just leave if 1 equals 1 in places, this is why. Because I'm just like, man, I don't want to fix the indentation. That sounds awful. Let's not. And so, until I'm confident that it's right, I just leave if 1 equals 1 to be a indentation placeholder. I gotta say, I miss my curly brackets. I think they're a little easier to manage, because then the indentation doesn't matter. And your code might look awful, but I can, like, fix that at the end. I don't have to do it partway through. Or, you know, maybe I just leave it off. That's my aesthetic. It's fine. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, almost there. Oh, that wasn't so bad. It's fine. Okay. So there we go. Now we got the indentation good, and this should have changed exactly 0 functionality, right? Everything still works? Still bugged? Hell yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, now I have that taken out, so now I can determine the criteria for when it's called. And what I think I want to do is... Let's see. So... Handle pipe dragging, handle pipe chain. So I think this is where I start getting... Oh no, this is where I build it. Okay. So where do I get the, like, initial preview and stuff? I don't remember. It's probably... Well, we can find it. Okay, so where do I do this? Because I don't remember. It'll be in here somewhere, so let's see if it's just... Click released. Okay. It'll be in here somewhere. So we're not copying. Selected building is not -1. We don't have that. Huh. Okay. But here we go. Preview start. So where do I calculate preview start? I do it on the click, and not the click release. Go, you know, that actually makes more sense now that I think about it. Okay. Okay, so it's right here. So when I click, I get the cursor. Okay. That sounds perfect. So, let's see. Let's see. Oh man, I wish my chat wasn't broken. That is a lot of lines and a lot of indentations. It's true. I've been going at this for a while. Let's see. So I'm going to want... I want a new variable. Does it have to be in process? I think it'd probably be a good idea. Well... I think it kind of has to be. Yeah, okay, no, it doesn't have to be. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm thinking of like 4 things at once. This is normal. I don't think I can use preview start though. So, you know what? I'm gonna go back to input actually, and we're gonna come back down to here where I set preview start, and I'm gonna make another variable of current drag location. And it's going to be equal to preview start at the start. Now let's go actually make that variable, because otherwise the spirits get mad at me. I don't like it when they're mad at me. I don't know. It's pretty easy. I use good variable names. And then I just read it real quick, and I'm just like, oh, yes, that's what I'm doing. It's, I don't know. I'm the only developer here, so all that matters is that I can read it. Let's see, so where am I doing the rest of this? Where does preview start made? I kind of want them together, right here. Yeah, easy. It is easy. I mean, I literally, the code that I'm looking at right now, I wrote a month ago. I haven't looked at it for a long time. I don't remember how I did half of these things. And I went through it, and within like 5 minutes, I was like, okay, yeah, that's what I'm doing. It is easy. This is what my brain looks like. I don't question it. What did I call it? I forget. Okay, current drag location. Vector2.inf. Okay. There we go. Alright, and now I can kind of do the things that I want to do in process. Okay, so here, I need a variable. Okay. Alright, there we go. Is how speed reading Egyptian. Look, it's fun. Like I said, this is just what my brain looks like. It makes perfect sense to me. It doesn't need to be readable to anyone else, because the only people... let me say, I mean, I made the code open source, so other people can look at it. But the only person that really needs to be able to update it right now is me. And maybe I'll make it better if I decide to make the game easily moddable. Maybe. How generous I'm feeling. And how much I want to get started on the next game. Okay. Okay, so if I have... So I want to make sure that it's... a certain distance away before we start trying to change things up again. So, let's see. We have current drag location, and then Distance to is current cursor location is greater than or equal to. I'll say greater than, actually. Cell size. Yeah, because... Or no, can I do it like that? Because this is normalized to be... Is this in 2D or 3D? This is going to be 2D. Right now, we're still fairly early in development, so everything is all placeholder and very scuffed. So, currently working on trying to make certain things a little bit less scuffed. But it's going to look very scuffed for a very long time. Okay, let's see. They are. It's true. I will probably never work in 3D because I hate 3D modeling, and I make everything myself, so. So if I'm not gonna make 3D models, but I like drawing 2D stuff, then there you go. I'll make 2D games, and I'm cool with that. I like 2D anyway. I like playing 2D games more than 3D ones overall. So it only makes sense that I do. Oh no, but it's normalized, so no, this is fine. In that case, I probably do want it greater than or equal to. Cell size. Okay. Boop. Okay, so if we have changed... What do you mean? Do I have to do it for X and Y separately? Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay, well, if Godot insists, I'll do it this way. It feels a little bit silly, but I've had to do all kinds of silly things, so I've learned not to worry about it. There we go. Okay, so if it's moving to a new cell, then we do that, and I want to make current drag location equal to current cursor location. There we go. Okay. So I think that should at least take a lot of stuff out of process. This is a lot less than what used to be there before. So hopefully that'll make things lag less. Lag is the wrong word, but it's fine. What's the game about? Okay. Let me see if I can break this now. Well, shoot, I can still break it. So, okay, well, I'll still have to fix that, but, let me run it again so I can do my little demonstration. So, this game is going to be a Metroidvania. So while you're running around and exploring the dungeon, instead of having things like your move speed, your jump height, your attack, and your HP fixed, you're gonna be building a neat little factory on the side. And if your factory's awesome, then you'll be able to, you know, run really fast and jump into the stratosphere, hit your enemies hard and have lots of health. And so, you know, if you get really, really good, yeah, you might even be able to run through lava, whether it's because you're really, really fast or because you just have ridiculous amounts of HP. So just as a quick demonstration here, you can see that the character's state is kind of flickering there, and that's because I'm hitting the jump button while the character has no air, and so he cannot jump. So let's give him some air. And now he can jump. And there's more air in this one over here. So we drag that over, now he can jump even higher. And that is the basic premise of the game. And then, you know, if I were to break this one, you know, we're back to this height, and if I break this one, then, you know, we won't jump very high. And, yeah, so that's the basic idea. And right now, we just got a little bug with dragging the pipes where, I don't know, if you twitch weird, you'll have crooked lines, and I'm trying to find a good way to fix that. Because that should not be happening. I thought it was just due to shenanigans with process. Doesn't seem to be. As for what inspired me to make games, nothing specific. I just like games, and I want to make them. Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm inspired by anyone in particular. There was an idea, and I want it to exist. Alright, so let's go take a look at that again. So I think what I need to find is where the end is being calculated here. So let's see. So that should be fine. Handle pipe dragging. Here we go. Okay, and then I have another function there. Create preview path. And this is all just getting the colors necessary, which is all well and good. Okay, so yeah, this is just determining where things are overlapping, whether or not we have to do certain other shenanigans. But at the very least, it hasn't broken anything, so that bodes well. Let's see, so create preview path. Alright, so this is where we start getting these things. This is where we start determining where the rectangle should go. Okay, so that's for resetting it. That's for... Yep, this is where we change things if we need to. Oh no, feel free to interrupt me every few seconds. I wouldn't be streaming if I didn't want people chatting with me. Otherwise, you know, I'd just curl up and get comfy in my chair and do things on my own. And understandable. Sleep is important, don't worry about it. But yeah, feel free to ask me whatever questions you want. I just gotta vocalize what I'm thinking about, because otherwise I'd just be sitting here in silence, coding. And that seems way less entertaining than just rambling about whatever I'm doing. So let's see. Okay, so we got that. This is where things change, and... So yeah, that's all fine. So where do I set... I think I called it preview end, right? Let me go check my globals. You know, I should probably just click the scroll bar instead of scrolling, but I'm committed now, so here we go. Okay. Yeah, I do call it preview end. Let's see. Vector2.infinity. I use it as a placeholder because vector2.infinity doesn't exist. So it's a nice thing that I can use to check to see if the vector2 has been set properly. And if it hasn't, that means something is broken. So I don't do anything. I used to do vector2.0, but if somebody was trying to build something in the corner, then suddenly that would work. And this stops shenanigans. Yes. I prefer to avoid shenanigans when I can. Okay, so is this like on release? Yeah, so this is when the button is released. We do that. And then we handle pipe chain. Okay, so what do you say, handle pipe chain? Okay. So let's see. Okay, so you don't take any of that. I just get current buildings from the building. Alrighty. Okay, so this is probably just for checking for overlap, so that doesn't really matter to anything I'm doing. Okay, and... Alright. Preview pipe start. I see, so... Create drag pipe start. Okay, so I'm getting these. The start and the end. Okay, so the problem where they don't go in a straight line if you move really fast is probably in these, actually. When did I start coding? Let's see. If you include... I'm not going to include my web stuff, which is strictly when I started doing it, because I don't feel like HTML and CSS is the same. So let's see, if I don't include that, I'd probably say like 20 years. That sounds about right. I've been going for a while. This is my first game in Godot, so I'm having to learn a lot of Godot specifics, but I already knew how to code when I started doing this. And I guess if we include my HTML and CSS web design silliness, that would have added another 6 or 7. So, look, there are upsides to being old, okay? You've had time to learn things. I have had time to figure out a lot of things. But I mean, it's been on and off. The past 5 years, I've basically done 0 coding. So I'm kind of getting back into it. I'm a little bit rusty. But I'd say, yeah, I probably started learning like 20 years ago. That sounds about right. Let's see. So how do I determine where the start is? Okay. So this should get everything in it. This is just the value I return. So how do I tell it to stop? Because I see I got a while loop here, so... How do I tell you to stop? Preview count. I see. So... Preview start and preview end. Okay, so let's see. Oh, if I'm doing it based off of those values, I don't see how they get crooked. Because what made me think of the issue here was just that when you twitch your hands suddenly at the end, it would, in like the final frame, go over to the new cell. Okay, I'm gonna add one more condition to process here. Let's see, do I just placeholder preview end? I don't. Okay. Well, we're gonna do that. You are now going to be placeholdered with an int. Alright, in which case I need to reset you when I click. So let's see. There's a place where I do this to like all of them. Yeah, right here. Oh, and I already do it. Beautiful. Okay, wonderful. So I don't have anything in particular I need to do there, so now I can just kind of come here. But yeah, okay, now that I know what I'm doing, I don't think you should worry about progress being slow. Don't worry, friend, you got time. Just do what you can now. It's probably going to be pretty hard to make a game with zero programming knowledge. If you're feeling up to it, yeah, go ahead and jump right in. But if you need something simple to kind of start with, I'd recommend just remaking a fairly simple game. You know, you can go with Pong. Just make Pong real quick. and that'll get you started with some of the basic things that you need to know, like how to draw things and all of that. Well, not even prototypes, just literally remaking existing games. This way you don't have to be thinking about the design. And if you pick one that lots of people remake for practice, you can, like, literally look up how people did it. And you'll be able to find answers. Whereas if you're trying to do something unique, you're kind of on your own for the most part. But yeah, I think that just copying games is a good way to do it. And if you're beyond the point where you just, you know, a simple one like Pong is too easy, pick some other game you like. I saw someone make Mega Man 2, for example. I saw someone trying to make Slay the Spire. You know, not to sell or anything, but just as practice, as something a little bit more complicated than Pong. and I do think that those things are good to do, because if you ask about it, people will know what you're talking about. And you might even just be able to Google how to do that and find answers, because people have probably tried. And stuff like that. So, I think it's a good way to go about it. It's a little bit more entertaining than just looking up data structures and practicing with random stuff, too. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you have a... Well, you said you were going to bed. So, I hope you're able to sleep well. Okay. We'll put this here now. This is gonna be an inn now, and the spirits are gonna balk, but don't worry, I'll make them happy again. All will be well. Okay, so let's see. I just need to check if preview end is not equal to vector 2, or no, if it is equal to, I want it to be equal to it. It needs to be a placeholder. Not in. Okay. There we go. Okay, and see, now the spirits are happy again, and it'll be fine. Let's see if I can break it. I can still break it. Life is hard. Pain. So much pain. Okay, so that's not the issue. There's an error in the way I calculate it. But at the very least, I think I can trust that this will be fine. That I will no longer have any issues with the cursor just twitching. Okay. Because none of this stuff should be called when once I release the button, and it should just always be in that specific location. So where did I put it? Handle pipe chain. Okay. So there's a problem here within these. Okay. I'm surprised, actually. I am quite surprised. Alright, well, let's go take a look at what I actually do. So, first I get the direction. And that should be fine. Preview count greater than 0. So I get that. None of these values should be changing ever. So this should be solid. Preview path. Okay, so yeah, that should all be fine. I'm basically just having to determine whether I use X or Y. Alright, so let's see the other one. So I'm just determining if it needs to go up or down. And otherwise, I do roughly the same thing. So let's see, how do I determine where it starts? Current preview. Current preview shouldn't be changing at this point, though, right? Okay, that's probably the issue, though, because... yeah. I'm gonna make sure that current preview is also locked in place. Alright, so... how do I determine current preview? I'm pretty sure that's in this, create preview path here. So, current preview literally just goes to where the cursor is. So I'm pretty sure that I can freeze it then. If I go here and say that current preview is also equal to cursor snap. I'm not sure why I need to do that. Maybe I should just do everything based off of preview end then. But I have everything coded like this right now and I don't feel like fixing it, so... oh right, I don't need to load. Muscle memory, man! Okay, there we go. That was the problem. But at the very least, I took a lot of this out of process now. I'll see if I can reproduce this. I don't think I can anymore. Yeah. Wonderful. No matter how hard I flick, it's all just going to where it should go. Yay. Wonderful. Okay. Ugh. There we go. That's one bug fix, and that's one big chunk taken out of process. Hopefully it'll be good. I think so far it looks pretty good. So I'll leave it like that. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna be lazy and not update to use everything to use preview end. Okay, and let me see. I need to go do something real quick. I'm gonna go grab some water. So I will be right back. Give me just a moment here. I think all the 5-hour Atelier Ryza streams have been starting to get to me. My throat's been drying out faster than usual. Okay. I might do another one tomorrow. I know no sense of danger. Alright, let's go. So let's see. Where am I going? Okay, so I think I've got that figured out. Let's go look at process again and see if I can pull anything else out. You know, this seems okay. So we'll go ahead and just leave it there. Oh god. Are the other ones stuff that I'm going to be able to do without just spending a few hours reading some documentation? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, so that's gonna be a shenanigan. Yeah, that's gonna be something. Water tastes so good in the summer. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get this one. Maybe there's a simple way and I'm gonna kick myself when it's all fine, but this just looks like it's gonna be something where I just really have to understand how certain things in Godot works. Like, I know it's just a listener pattern, and that's relatively simple. It's not that I don't really understand, it's just that... Is it better than what I have? I don't know. I don't know. So let's see. And now... Okay, so the selection. Do I want to start moving that to another class? It's really only the draw method that has to go elsewhere, but considering that all of this would determine what gets drawn, I kind of have to care. But the part that I'm worried about, okay. So I kind of explained before, but I'll do it again, just to get my own head on straight here. So, we got pipes. And if it's empty, I want you to be able to draw this rectangle. So the things that we need. 1, I need this rectangle to be able to go in front of pipes. Right now you can see it's drawing behind. I think I'd also like it in front of the player. So I will want to put the player somewhere else too. I guess that one's a little more debatable, but yeah, I think I'd like it to be in front of the player. So basically, I want this thing to be on top. And it definitely needs to be on top of the pipes at minimum. But you can see that it gets highlighted in pink behind it when you hover over the pipes like this, or when the pipes are inside of the rectangle. That highlight needs to be behind the pipes. And that makes things a little complicated, you know? Because if I were to separate out this guy and then have it try to highlight things, well, it's hard because so this buildings that I've highlighted here is where all the buildings are, over here. And I want one thing to be in front of them and one thing to be behind them. With the way Godot draws, that cannot be done in the same class. It just can't be. As far as I can tell. Otherwise, I would do it just here in the grid class. I searched rather extensively for a way to fix this, but as far as I can tell, it can't be done. So, I've been asking myself, okay, how am I gonna get the pink behind the buildings and the black on top of the buildings? How am I going to find the location of everything? I don't know. And that's why I haven't done this yet. Well, no, there's multiple reasons I haven't done this yet. I've had more important things to do right now. And that's fine. But when I look at it now, I'm still not quite sure how to do it. Because I feel like I'd have to draw the highlights in the grid class. But the square outside of the grid class. And so how would I get the information for where the square goes to the grid class or whatever? I don't really know. So I followed a tutorial to get this far. Very, very helpful one. So I'm probably gonna consult that for the last step here. And it's unfortunately a video, so I can't just reference it easily on stream. God, I hate that everyone wants to make video tutorials now. I think text tutorials are so much better. Because, you know, then you can just use them at your own pace. You can copy and paste the code. It's fantastic. Whereas with videos, you have to, like, type it all yourself, and it's really inconvenient, and you can tell I'm old. Anyway. I'll probably do that later. So that's probably the extent of little bugs I will fix for now. The other thing that I really want to be able to do is when you highlight and then click off, it cancels the highlight, I guess. So if we have this, I highlight all the pipes. I want to be able to like click over here and oh, okay, cool. I already do that. I thought that I didn't. Well, past me is smarter than I thought. Here we go. So yeah, I can already do that. Okay, cool. Guess I don't have to do that now then. Alright. I could have sworn that wasn't working when I tested it last time, but I guess it has been a very long time since I've looked at this part of the code. Guess we can do some screen transitions then. Alright. So I think I'm gonna add a little thing to my level transition here. So you can see that, you know, we got some things for the size and where you're gonna end up. I think I would like another one. Do I not have... Oh no, I have level transition open. Here we are. So I want another one, and that's just going to be... I want this is a grid on. I'll let it default to false. No, this doesn't need to be export though, because this is gonna change. Okay, in that case, I want it below my on-ready variables. This is just how I order things. Okay. So... You know what? No, this shouldn't go here. I might just put it in global. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll put it in global. So this will just be another little thing to kind of help us out. So var is a grid on. Okay, so I'll let it default to false. And then when the player presses the button to turn it on, I'm pretty sure that's in player. Where do I do that? Here it is. So is factory global dot is a grid on equals true. Oh, why did I call it GIRD? I don't want it to be GIRD. I want it to be grid. Freaking typos. Come on, spirits, you know what I meant. Rude. Okay. Okay, is grid on? Spirits are so picky, I swear. Okay. You know, I think I actually had a thing for disabling. Oh, whatever. It's fine. And now in grid, over in input, I guess I can leave it like that. I could also just use if grid is on. You know what? That makes me happy. I did it again. Right, it's in factory global. Okay. It makes me happy. So I'm gonna do it like that. And let's see if we're in ready here. I just want to say if actually right now I'm gonna default this to true just so it doesn't turn off while I'm trying to test things. But you know what? For the sake of testing to make sure this does what I think it does, I'll do it like that. Okay. So if but this will break when we open the blueprint book. Okay, no, there's nothing I can do about that. Okay. I'm not gonna worry about it right now, but actually, I don't even think you can open the blueprint book unless you're in build mode. So yeah, there shouldn't even be a problem. Okay, never mind. We're fine. Okay, so if factory global dot is grid on equals a true, then we want to do a grid, or no, wait, we can itself. So I think I can just do show. Else hide. Am I allowed to do that? I think it looks weird, so I'm gonna do self. It makes me feel better about myself. That's why I know what I'm talking about. Yay! Okay, so there's some something wonky with the player bubble. Oh man, I just do this in process. Okay, no, that's probably fine. That's right, I was doing everything in process until I was trying to fix some stuff with input. What did I call that? Build area? Okay. So where do I mess with build area? Oh no, I see. I do it here. I have these backwards. My dyslexia truly knows no bounds. No. I had it right, didn't I? If build area is false, then we're showing it, so this should be true. And if it is currently visible, and we're gonna hide it, then that is false. Okay. So that means I handle the hiding in grid when I didn't think I did. Oh, that's fine. In that case, maybe I should just put that in there instead. Select building, copy. So where do I handle that? Let me see, what did I call the build mode? Okay, here we are. Enter exit build mode. Huh. So it should be congruent if I do it like this. No, it's still backwards, because you see the bubble, this black circle is supposed to be the build area that the player can build in, and it's only supposed to show when the grid is active. So I guess it, is by default visible. So I'd want it to be by default invisible if I'm going to be doing this test here. Okay, there we go. That's all it was. I just had to make sure that they were set the same while testing. So, because I don't want to have to press F just for basic testing while I'm dealing with setting up stuff for the grid, we're gonna default to true. And so now everything should be on again. And while I'm testing factory stuff, I want it to default to true. I want it to just be on right away, so that this way I don't have to, you know, press a button to turn everything back on. So that'll be the easier way to handle that, but once the game is more ready and I'm done testing factory stuff, yeah, that will be off by default. And then you turn it on when you want to build stuff. Okay. Sounds good. Alright. So let's see. What should I do next? Alright, I wanted to make sure that this worked the way I expected between rooms. I'm not sure if it's gonna do that. Oh, it did. Wonderful. Okay. I fixed it. That was all I had to do. Okay. Well, there we go. The thing I did work. That was the big thing, really, so what did I want to do after? Well, yeah, I think our numbers are far enough along right now. The only thing that doesn't work is super cursed pipe setups. So basically, you know, if somebody makes a simple setup, something that's nice and sensible, like, you know, this, as I demonstrated earlier, like, this works. And pretty much every relatively sensible setup does. It only doesn't work when you start doing stupid stuff like this. I don't know why anyone would want to build something like this. I mean, look at this thing. It's stupid. It's so stupid. Why would you want to do this? I'm gonna be ready for you if you do want to do this, but I don't know why anyone would. Like, how do you even... What numbers do you expect to get into those? Right? So, for anything less cursed than this, the math is working. So I think it's safe to start putting values between rooms. And the way I intended to handle that was... I'm gonna need a testing room 3 eventually, but I'm not gonna worry about that yet. Right now, we're gonna start sending stuff between testing room 1 and testing room 2. So, there's going to be this little pipe that connects the rooms. I think I want it to look different from just normal pipes that you'd place down. Just maybe a slightly different color or texture to it. Because otherwise it would get kind of confusing. And I think I want it like halfway going out the room with its direction not set right away. So I think the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to determine where that location is. And then we'll add a marker determining... Wait, where's my chat broken? But hello there, Wendell. I hate it when my chat breaks, because then I have to look at... No. Minor complaint. Anyway. Hello. I have fixed some bugs, so things are going well. And now I'm trying to figure out implementation for moving some of your resources between rooms. Okay, well... let's see. I'm taking a look at my chat for a second. Access requested. Are we good? You should be good. Okay, well, hopefully it's fine. Anyway. Let's see. Don't worry, I won't miss any chat messages, even if my chat is broken. I am prepared now. I have learned to never trust technology. So, yeah, so I think I want this, like, going halfway off the room. And then in the same place on the room that it connects to, which in this case will be testing room 2, going about halfway off the screen again. Hey, it's back! Great. No, I mean resources for your factory, the game objects. Yeah. So now we're strictly talking gameplay here. Alright. So I'll make that part of the grid, and I think I'll just plop it on there. What do I want it to look like for now? I guess I'll just make it a square. And then I just have to convince the game that it's a pipe. And that might be a little more tricky. Oh, well, it shouldn't be too bad, because it's just going to be an endpoint. But it's not going to be the pipe dictionary. Maybe I can make it so I can build a pipe on top of it or something. And that if you build a pipe at that specific grid space, much like I do the extractors, then it does a special thing. I think that makes sense, actually. Okay, so I'll just plop something down for now. Let's see. So I'll give it an area. Add child, there it is. Area 2D. And you are going to be... exit to testing room 2. Okay. And then we'll give you... I see. So you... that's right, because you guys are instantiated from elsewhere. I don't... probably. I don't think it's really relevant to what I'm doing right now. Let's see. I guess I'll put a rectangle there for now. Where are you, my friend, the color rect? There you are. Okay, and... what color do I want you to be? The thing that goes between rooms. What color should you be? You can be pink. Okay. And then we'll give you the collision. I guess you probably need it. Let's see. Collision shape. No, you don't need a something here. We do it here. It's just gonna be a rectangle. Man, it feels like forever since I last had to do this. Okay, we'll put you up in the corner, make you the right size, and you know what? I think that's fine. Let's see, how big are you? You should be like 50 by 50, and I probably should have done that first. Yeah, I want you to be the same as the cell size. Okay. And this is what we call jank, but that's fine. No, you, there. I'll make this nice later. So I don't actually know where my grid is. It's drawn in the game. So it is what it is. Hopefully this lines up reasonably, and if it doesn't, I'll fix it. I'm not even gonna know because it doesn't go that far. Okay, in that case, where is it? Transform. We're gonna make you like, make sure this is divisible by 50. So we'll put you at 250 there, and there. Okay, and that should stop any shenanigans. Okay, in theory, and I think I need to make this collision shape a little bit smaller. It should not bleed outside the rectangle. Should be firmly inside. There we go. Okay, so now, in theory, when I put something there, life should be okay. I'll go put one in testing room 2 now. Okay, so now we're gonna have another one. Area. There we go. I was like, what was I doing again? It's been that kind of week, you know? Color rect. Make you hot pink. And then I want you to be 50 by 50. And then from there, we get the collision. And the collision for the collision. Gonna put it inside here. And I'll probably make this a proper scene at some point. I think that'll probably be easier than what I'm doing now, but I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm not sure if this is how I'm gonna do it, so I just want to get it down quickly for now. Okay. So I'll probably put it like negative 25 or something. 250. Okay. So let's move this guy on down. I guess probably like there, and then... Ooh, I was actually pretty close. Then yeah, that seems fine. Okay. So that will be where my room transitions go. So now I have to figure out how to get the pipes to recognize when there is something overlapping that. Okay, no, I think I know. I think I know what to do. I think I know what to do. Let's see, there's a couple of ways I can do this. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna put it in the pipe dictionary itself. So, basically at some point, when we go here, you're gonna be able to, like, build a pipe on top of that. And it'll be great. And so what I wanted to do is recognize, hey, that's the edge of the room. So anything that goes here will go into testing room 2. I should also name this properly. Okay, and then we'll just make sure that these things that we put down are labeled as such. And that will be an exit to a room. And the pipe that is built on there will determine what happens to the thing in the next room. If it's a splitter, I don't think anything happens because, well, I guess it could. No, it definitely could. I just need to make sure that the receives. So, if you see the black line on the pipe there. Oh, that's right, my tooltip is broken right now and it crashes the game. Whoops. Give me a moment, the game has to crash. There we go. There we go. Be careful not to click on it. And you know what? Maybe I should address that crash before I go any further here. Because, you know, that seems like it could be kind of bad for testing things if I just accidentally click on a pipe and crash the game. Anyway, but what I was saying was, so you see the black line there. I want to make sure that it's pointing off screen. So if I were to put a splitter there, it would have to be facing like this in order to work, so as you see, or, you know, like this. So you see that the black line is pointed towards off screen. I see. Yeah, that sounds like something someone would make. I'm amazed at the things that people are willing to spend money on. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna go look at the tooltip. I should fix that before I do anything else, because I forgot that it was crashing the game right now. Where is that? Display pipe info. I do have the tooltip scene, right? Let's see. I don't remember where I put it. I would have thought that I would have put it in buildings. But it's not actually there. Did I kill it on accident? I don't think I did. That'd be awkward, though. Pipe tooltip. Okay. Oh yeah, because it's pipe tooltip, not tooltip. Okay. You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so we have the pipe tooltip. Okay, so it's not just exploding. Oh yeah, and I had to do a bunch of stupid stuff in order to get it to do what I wanted. Oh boy. I have to look at all the stupid stuff I did again. Oh no. Okay. Is this ever gonna find an existing tooltip? I don't think it will. You know, this might honestly be something that I push into a different class at some point. Because, yeah, I remember I had to do all this stupid stuff because I couldn't disable the input of the freaking X button. And so whenever you clicked on it, you'd build a pipe. And it was not what I wanted. Not at all. I'm so mad that you have to do that. I mean, it just seems obvious to me that if you click an X button on a menu, you don't want stuff going on behind it. Because they're clearly clicking on the X button. They're not trying to do anything else. But that's just not how things work in Godot. And the only way that I've been able to find to do that is basically to freeze the freaking game and then turn it back on once you're done handling the menu. And this feels so strange. I don't know why you have to do that. I get the feeling you don't, but I just don't understand. So, yeah, I do kind of have to do it like that. Do I have to do, get parent here first? I don't know why it's crashing right now. Is it crashing because the numbers are... No, I'm giving numbers, they're just not correct. That's probably not it. Oh. Hold on. Okay, I have to see. Does this crash? Doesn't. Does this crash? Doesn't. Wait, then why does it crash sometimes? Or did I fix the problem? Was that all I had to do? Was that the problem? I can't get it to crash anymore. Let me do that, thing that made me notice the problem. Okay, well, I can't get it to crash anymore, so maybe I fixed it. It was crashing pretty consistently before, so... It seems a bit strange that it would stop now. Okay, I guess I'll call that good then. Cool. Let's go back to room transitions. Yeah. I'm just thinking about how to do that. I think I might just set a global variable somewhere. And then the pipe that transitions to the new room will just effectively become an endpoint. So yeah, I think I know what I'm gonna do. So if we go to the top again, this is all preview stuff. That's for selection. Where do I do stuff for actually handling building? Here. Okay. I'm gonna go var. So there's a couple of ways I could go about this. Do I want it to just be a Boolean, or do I want the location of the pipe? I don't think I necessarily need the location of it. Because if I was curious about it, I could probably just, you know, get it from this over here. But I don't think the location of it really matters, only that it overlaps there. And I don't actually want this to be a source. So I shouldn't put this in sources. Okay, yeah, I cannot build an extractor on that. That doesn't make sense. There's no elements there. I guess there could be sometimes, but I think if you build on it, you might have a bad time. I'll have to figure out how we handle that in the actual game, but I don't think it'll be that big a deal. Just don't put a source on it. Easy. Okay. So var... Does a chain go outside? I'm gonna make it a bool. It's gonna default to false. Okay. And... when we go to find pipe path... Well, no, before that, in the factory recalculation, I think this is the best way to do it. Does chain go outside equals false. We'll just make sure we reset it there. Because what matters... Yeah, I think I want to do it... No, I want to do it per extractor. So I don't want to do it there. I want to... do it here. Okay. Is this how I want to do it, though? Is this how I would do it now? Basically, yes. So, yeah, I can do my demonstration real quick while I think about this. I'm just debating on when I want to update this. So, that was a decent enough time. Let's go ahead and open up the game here once OBS decides to recognize that it exists. Wonderful. So, yeah, it's gonna be a Metroidvania, but rather having your stats like your movement speed, your jump height, your attack, and your HP be fixed, or, you know, only change a little bit over the course of gameplay. You're gonna be building a neat factory on the side here that will determine those stats. So if you take a look, you can see that the state that the player's in is kind of twitching a little bit. Or the text above his head, and that's because I'm trying to jump. Well, the player has no air. So let's give him some air, and now he can jump. And there's also a little bit more air in this one over here. So we can connect this up. Now we can jump even higher. And then, you know, if I mess up the factory, we're back to jumping like this. Or if I take away this one, we only do a tiny hop. And, you know, various stuff like that. So that's the basic premise of the game. Build cool factory, go be awesome. Yeah. So that's the basic premise. And right now I'm just working on all the various factory mechanics. I have the math for how things are calculated like 95% working. So now I'm making it so that you can have your factory extend through multiple rooms. That's kind of the goal here right now. And, you know, easier said than done, but I think I have a good way to do it. I don't think no, I think I can just do it at the top, because once this is true, I think it's fine for it to stay true. We'll do it here. Okay, I had it right the first time. Yeah, alright. How complex do you want to make it? Well, I'm not sure what the scale of complexity that we're going for, well, that, your thinking is. Like, the factory's not going to be as complex as, like, a dedicated factory game like Factorio. We're only dealing with what is effectively fluids in the Factorio sense. And... yeah, so... I think we've got pretty much all the pipes that are going to exist ever in here already. I have a wheel. I'll just plop it up here real quick. Yeah, I guess you can't actually read that, but we've got the thing that you get your resources from, so your miners. We got, just normal pipes that do pipe things. You can turn your normal pipes if you want to. And, you know, they can go anyway, and you can flip it around and stuff. Then, this isn't going to exist in the game. This is, I guess, your storage. This is where you want to get your resources to, this red thing. Undergrounds are going to be a thing. They're not working right now, so I'm not going to build any, but they're going to be a thing. And you can split things apart, merge things together. And those are going to be pretty much all the pipes. And you can rotate them all and do that, and your miners have to be built on these brightly colored squares. 'Cause that's where the actual resources are. This brightly colored square is something else, don't worry about it. And the goal is to eventually kind of let the factory extend between rooms. That's what this brightly colored square is. Cable management? I guess it's pretty close to that. That's why I say we're in the Factorio sense, we're dealing with pipes. I think comparing it to electrical wires is fine. I think that makes sense. So all you're doing is trying to get it from the white square to the red square. And sometimes your white square is going to be in a different room. So this will eventually have to, you know, get over to the same room that your red square is in. And you have a limited number of red squares to place. So they will have to go between rooms. And so the goal is to, for right now, I suppose, is to make it so that you can build the factory in multiple rooms at this point. Because right now, we're pretty good at letting you build it in one. Things are like 90% of the way there. The cases that don't work mathematically right now are like this tier cursed. I don't know why anyone would want to build something like this, but I want to be ready for it, so I'm going to do it. But anything short of just ultra cursed like this is calculating right at this point. So, no, I just want to make it so you can start getting stuff between rooms. And then there's going to be some other minor mechanics, like you can see that we have a blue square and a green square here. Those have water and air respectively. And if we go on over here, you can see we have a brown and a red one. This is going to be earth and fire. And when water and fire try to go into the same pipe, they vaporize each other. So they just cancel each other out, basically. And same with earth and air. So that's another thing I still have to implement. And the only way to get stuff into your red square is if what is in the pipe is pure. So you can't have mixed elements going in there. And so that's going to be one of the main challenges there, is making sure that whatever random stuff you got going into your pipes gets canceled out correctly in order to actually be able to get into your red square. And that you want to have enough of just, you know, all four, and, you know, there'll be more elements later to actually do the things that you want to do. So, you know, there's going to be some stuff. It's not going to have quite the complexity of a full-fledged factory game, since it is a Metroidvania first and a factory game second. But I think there'll be some room to do some interesting things. Even just factory-wise. Okay. Right, so now I need to figure out how to make the spirits know that the pipe goes outside. So let's see, where is my spawn building? There it is. Alright. So let's see, the way that I wanted to tell. I think, since I have a sources here, I'm going to do something similar with exits. And I'm just going to go ahead and add a node. And we'll put the exits in here. Oh boy. Well, I do hope that you will enjoy playing it once it's done. I've been working quite hard, so I do hope that it ends up being very enjoyable. I don't have it out anywhere yet, like I don't have an itch page or anything yet. I'll probably make that once it gets closer to release, but I do stream every Thursday. So every Thursday is Game Dev, Friday is we play games and talk about game mechanics day, and then Saturday is art day, where I draw stuff. Currently not drawing stuff for the game, but I probably will at some point. A bit too early in the development process to make me want to actually start drawing assets for it, because I'm not quite sure how I want a lot of these things to look. And, you know, that's why everything is super scuffed right now. I like making things super scuffed. It makes me happy. At least for placeholders, so... Because, you know, it motivates me to actually want to finish everything. Because I know that someday, I'll actually be able to finish the game. And then I'll be able to make it look pretty. And that'll just be a great day. I'm very excited for it. See, so 4 exit in exits dot get children. All right. Source is source. Do I need to save it before it recognizes it? Oh, because I said it instead of in. Man, I am so fine. All right. Oh, I'll just do it like that. That's fine. I guess I should make my exits actual scenes, though. I think I can just do that like this. Alright, you save, branch as scene. This will be... Do I have source in here? I do. Okay, so this should be in... buildings. Okay. So this is going to be exit. I don't like the name exit for that, because that's a little too ambiguous. Let's come up with a better name. Let's see, I'm gonna call this pipe exit. Okay. Alright, so now we have a pipe exit here. And I guess that means I should delete this one that's in here. And we'll go ahead and do the same thing in testing room 2. Where I just go ahead and... Ooh, but this might break some things, actually, because of how I did it. Because, yeah, now it's gonna be... Oh, no, we're good. Okay, so when you do that, it does save you from yourself. Wonderful. I thought it was gonna be like, wait, is it gonna try to put it in the same spot that I put it in testing room 2 or testing room 1 here? But the answer is no. So we're good. And I would like you... Oh, it has a bad name. I definitely don't want it to be named that. You are gonna be... room exit. Okay. Or I guess I called the class pipe exit, so I should... Okay. Okay, so I should use the same name. Alright. There we go. So now that we got a little bit more consistency, let's go ahead and move it into place. Now, where was I? No, that's input. This is transform. Gonna plop you like here. Okay. So I'll be able to place it at like roughly the same height there. And now... How do I want to do this? That's always the question. Alright, let's go back to the script. Do I want this? Do I have like a source? What do you do? Type an amount. Yeah, I don't know if this... guess it might be useful for the exits to have their proper values. There won't be export variables though, because I don't want those won't be set manually. They'll be set by the code. Yeah, I think it makes sense for them to be their own thing. So let's open this up again. Not pipe tooltip. Pipe exit. There we go. And we'll give them a little tiny little baby script. Okay. So class name is going to be pipe exit. And it can extend Area 2D, that sounds fine to me. And all it's really gonna have is a couple of properties that I can access. So that'll be var element array. It's going to be array of string. And var, I'm gonna have to be able to set this. Oh god, what's the syntax for getters and setters? I'll figure that out in a sec. Array of float. Okay. So the idea is that I query this, and this is what goes into the pipe that's on top of it. Yes. Alright. Yeah, so that'll be how I do that. And I'm not sure if I trust the code to have it set properly at all times. So okay, no, I have some thoughts. Yeah, let's see. So when the room is loaded, everything gets rebuilt. Yeah, everything gets rebuilt. So that means that if there's a way outside, the code will know. If it is leading outside, the code will know. Okay. So I can potentially do stuff with that in order to populate this properly. I'm having to think like 7 steps ahead here. Which always leads to some shenanigans. Okay. Let's save this. Oh. Oh no, that means you got saved to the wrong place. No, you're not supposed to be there. You're supposed to go in script. There you go. Okay. Okay. I want to go back to grid here. So now I will be able to get that. Yes. We'll go back into system room 2, and this will be an array of pipe exit. Alright, and okay. I kind of need to pee, and it's extremely distracting. So I will be right back. Give me like 3 minutes. God, it's amazing how hard it is to think when you have to go to the bathroom. Alright. So now we can go back to this. So, if exit is a pipe exit, exit array to append, exit. There we go. Okay. So now I have my list of exits, and I can say, how do I do it with the extractor? Because I've done this before. So I'm just going to do it the same way, but I don't remember what it is. Here we are. Okay, so I do just get the coordinates. Alright, wonderful. So I probably do want it to be a little bit smaller than 50 by 50. Just to ensure that it actually picks the number that I want, but I think that this... I'll see if it works first. No need to be weird. Okay. Okay, and I do this for each building made, so we can just come over here. I'm just gonna steal all of this, and I want to do this for everything. Okay. If the phylacteries on it... Do I want it to recognize that it goes outside? No, I think it's okay for it to be on the thing, though. Okay. But no, I don't think I want it to look for it. If the building that's on it is that. So if is endpoint. So basically, if you try to build an endpoint, which in this case would be a phylactery or vaporizer, on top of that, it won't do anything. And that's kind of how I want it to go. So if is endpoint is, thinking about it, I don't need to reset this and recalculate factory, I don't think. Okay. Anyway, let's see, where do I get the name from? Name building. Okay. I don't want it to be an endpoint. Okay. And this won't be source, this will be exit. An exit array. And this won't be source, this will be exit. And this will be exit. And this will be exit. I don't know, I kind of like it that way. I think I actually do have something that handles this, but... No, I only do that for the cursor specifically. I don't know. I've never found a lot of the traditional advice about how to code to make sense to me. That I don't think it doesn't really make much sense to me, because I don't see how having a bunch of named functions across, 7 different files instead of just having it all right here, even though this is like 2,500 lines of code or something. I could split an episode this way. It's never more than 250, but I've never really understood why I'd want to. I think it's just easier to have all the functionality for this one thing in one place. And then I can just, you know, go look at the side and I see, oh, hey, as long as I name my functions well, it's like, I know where to look. And it's fine. So fortunately, I am the only one that has to read this code, so I can do whatever the hell I want, and I want to do it like this. So there we go. True location. Exit. Okay. Then... Yes, okay. I just had to think about what I was going to do. Oh, and hello there, Copper... Copper Max. Welcome back. And yeah, so far things have been going pretty well. But yes, welcome back. Right now, just trying to figure out how to let your resources go outside. Yes. They're gonna be able to go outside now. Okay, so if we have that... I'm just thinking about how I want to get this in the dictionary. Do I put it on everything? I guess it makes sense too. No, meh. I'm trying to think about how I want to look up whether or not I have to care about where this stuff goes. That's admittedly not a super easy decision. Because it's not enough to know that it goes outside. I have to know where outside that it goes. Right now I only have one room, but I'm really hopeful that that will not be the case for the final game. It won't be. It will not be the case for the final game. There will be many, many, many rooms. So I have to know which room it's in and which room it's going to be going to. And that's going to be important. So I'm trying to figure out how do I put this on my data structure in a way that will not make me hate life later. I'm trying to think of my future self because, you know, she needs all the help she can get. So, let's see. Be kind to your future self. They will appreciate it. Choices are hard, you know that? So my first thought was, you know, put something on every pipe to let you know, but I think that's excessive. But I'm not sure if I want to put it on only one pipe either, is the thing, because then I have to be careful. And I don't like having to be careful. I like being able to just attack my code with reckless abandon and make the spirits scream a little bit. Don't worry about it. So, because you see, as far as I'm concerned, coding is just like talking to the spirits. You gotta have your proper seance here. And the computer expects very specific things. So I don't see it as that different from trying to talk to the spirits. And I think it's good for them to squirm occasionally. So I just have to figure out how to tell them that I want your resources to be able to go outside. I'm probably thinking too hard about it. But nonetheless. Nonetheless. I do feel the need to think about these things. Because my first thought was, oh yeah, I'll just put it on the dictionary. Well, we'll just plop it there. If it goes outside, then that's where it'll be. I think it does make the most sense to put it on, though. Just right now, my current debate is, do I want all of the pipes to have an entry on that? So the way that would look, I think I do. Yeah, okay, I've convinced myself. Thank you for existing, everyone, and letting me talk to myself. It helps me figure it out, it really does. Okay, so... we're gonna have... I'd forget what I called the variable. Does train go outside? There we go. Equals true. Okay, and... okay, so I want to see if I have the last one. So... exit equals exit array... -1, and... true... well, no, I can't do that, can I? Okay. Oh no, I can do that. Equals true, and... yeah, true location is not equal to exit. Chords, and... does... can't go outside. Oh. That's right, it's false by default. No, I don't have to care then. Okay, I was overcomplicating it. I can tell I'm getting tired. That's okay. So I think before we do this, I need to set does the chain go outside to false. We'll just do it like that. That will keep things simple. And then we just add to the dictionary here. Do I want it at the end? Yeah, sure. Outside. We'll just call it outside. Okay, so now every one of these will have either true or false for whether it goes outside. And that means that when I go to make the path, like way the hell down here, I can say... actually, I have another criteria for whether it goes outside. I need to know whether it's pointing in the right direction. Okay, I'll do that in a second. I just want to know... okay, so how am I going to check things here? I set it to false before I set my variable checking if it's going outside to false when I start recalculating the factory. So if I set it to true here, then that means that there will be a path outside. I think that's a good way to look at it. Okay, so... if I find a pipe... yeah, if I find a pipe... with that set to true. So pipe info, sub current chords, sub outside equals true. Does chain go outside equals true. Okay, and then we just take this. I have to bring it down here because the way I coded this is stupid and I don't feel like fixing it. Don't worry about it. You just put it here. And you will be pipe. Yay. Okay. This is one of those things. Is there probably a better way to do this? Yes. Do I feel like finding it? No. And I am okay with this. Alright, so now I can go back to finding the additional criteria that I need in order to get this, and I have to think about how that's actually gonna work. I think I know. So what I want it to do is... Okay, so we got that. And then... I think no matter what happens, we break out of this loop. Okay. And now I have to make sure it's pointing the right direction. So I want to make sure that it receives, it goes off screen, I guess, is the way to put it. Okay. Okay, what do I default split gives to? I don't actually remember. Vector2.inf. Okay. What does vector2.inf look like? I don't actually know. You know that? So let's go back down, because I have to compare it. So we're going to print. That should give me the information I need. So let's go see what a vector2.inf looks like. Inf. Okay. We have learned something new today. Okay. Okay, so I need to do that just in case it's a splitter. And that splitter has something that goes outside, but otherwise, otherwise I can just check gives. And what I think I want to check is if the cell that it goes to is outside of the grid. So I actually do have the grid size defined, or up here. So right now it's 1,000 by 1,000, which is decidedly wrong. So, there might be issues right now with the level of scuff I'm dealing with, but I think that because I have it on top of an area already, it should be okay. For now. But it'll be great once I actually fix it. Alright. Nice. Glad you found a book that you like. I'm still going through the Wheel of Time. I will be here for quite a long time, because that series is massive, and I'm only, like, most of the way through book 2. So I'm gonna be there a while. I will be there for so long. Okay. Okay. So, let's see, if... Yeah, I'll just do these separately. That's fine. So, let's see. I want... gives... times factory global dot cell size plus I guess I'm gonna have to do this for X and Y. Yeah, that should be fine. Let's see. Factory global cell size plus grid size. Is... no, that's not how I want to do it. I want it if it's, greater than... grid size dot x. Okay. Alright. I know, I'll be here tomorrow as always. Sorry, things are a little slow right now because I'm like, oh my god, my brain is tired and I'm trying to think about how to do math. But thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Plus, location.x. There we go. That's what I wanted. And if it's greater than cell size, or grid size, excuse me, or wise. Okay. So then if that's true, then we're good. Okay. And then we do this one separately. So let's see. I'm gonna indent this again, and so then I want to do the same thing. What did I do? Oh, right, because you're a string. Stir to var. There we go. And I think you have to be X. Is that gonna work? Yeah, I think that'll work. Is that how you do that? Does that make sense? I hope so. If that's not how you do it, I guess I'll figure it out soon. But otherwise, yes. We do the same thing, except with split gives. Hopefully I calculated that right. Okay, and... yeah, and I think I want to break regardless. So that should be correct. Alright, and here I just want to print, does a chain go outside? So this is gonna break with what I've got right now. I should see how big the screen actually is. And I'll just make that the size for now. So let's see, where did I put your exit here? Okay, I'll make this divisible by 50. So I think I can probably just take out the 20 there and then it'll be fine. Let's find out. Oh man, does this mean that my grid's gonna look a little bit less scuffed? Oh good, it still looks pretty scuffed. Did I actually put that in the Y direction? I did. No, that was supposed to be for the X direction. Man! Okay. I still fear that this, even if I point it the wrong way, it'll still, yeah. We'll add a 50 to it. Let's see if that works. Okay, it goes all to the way to the edge now. I am a little bit sad, if I'm being honest. Okay, so if it's incorrect... Oh, it still rates it as true. Okay. And that crashed the game. Awkward. Oh, why didn't it crash the game when it was facing the other way? Oh dang, did it just crash all of Godot? I hope it didn't. Okay, no, we're good. We're good. I'm not sure why that crashed the game, though. That doesn't seem like it should crash. Okay, well, I did something wrong. Let's go back over here and take a look. I just realized that I think that the grid size is probably going to have to be unique room to room, so I don't think I can put it in... Oh, no. Yeah, I can't. I don't think I can put the grid size in grid, because I want to be able to reuse this for all the rooms. But every room is going to have a different grid size, so I'm going to have to figure that out later. I don't care right now, but the thought just occurred to me. So what the hell did I do to break this? That's a good question. Oh, well, you should be Y. I don't think that would, cause it to crash, though. It occurs to me that I can't, leave this as greater than because sometimes it might be smaller. This is actually going to be a bit harder to do than I thought, and I don't know why it crashed there. God, that's weird. Alright. Well, I don't think my brain is up for debugging this right now, so I think I will go ahead and stop here. But it's okay, I'm happy. We fixed a rather obnoxious bug that I've been dealing with. So I'm happy to have that done. And soon, hopefully, we'll get some of these room transitions working. Well, I guess the room transition itself is working. But we'll be able to start sending elements between rooms and we can get some fire in here. That will be something. But I suppose I will stop here for today. So, thank you all for coming. And I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I will see you all tomorrow with some more Atelier Rising.